Both in the courtroom and outside the courtroom on Monday with Donald Trump testifying, his lawyer, Alina Habba, suffered multiple just absolute meltdowns. Now, the first one, of course, occurred inside the courtroom where she got into a bit of a back and forth with the judge, started yelling at him, and the judge had to tell her, or yell at her, according to reports, to sit down. And this pissed off Alina Habba, right? She didn't want to hear that. So, after everything was over that day, she heads outside, angry as ever, and gives a little press conference where she accuses the other side of only wanting to do press conferences and make a name for themselves, which is pretty ironic considering that's all Alina Habba has really ever done. But here is Alina Habba having her meltdown outside the court after she had her meltdown inside the court. Take a look.
All right, the president's team has stepped up to the microphone. They just walked outside of the courthouse. Let's dip in here and listen.
Been more honest, coming from the judge who has already predetermined that my client committed fraud before we even walked into this courtroom. I'm not here to hear what he has to say. Then why exactly am I being paid as an attorney, and why exactly are taxpayer dollars being used in this courtroom? The answer is very clear. Because Miss James wants to stand right here like she did this morning and call my client a liar, call the company fraudulent, and make a name for herself. She said this morning that the numbers don't lie and they won't lie in this case. Well, Miss James, I have a message for you. The numbers didn't lie when you ran for governor, and that's why you dropped out.
Now, you'll notice in that statement, that very angry, bitter statement from Alina Habba, not once does she actually defend her client on the merits of the case. Not once. That's her job, okay, folks? She is supposed to go out there and say, like, listen, they said X, Y, and Z, total crap. You know, this is what really happened. Here's how things actually are. My client is innocent. But instead, Alina Habba, being the horrid lawyer that she is, went out there and started mocking the person bringing charges against him. And that is, of course, New York Attorney General Letitia James. That's not a brilliant legal strategy. That's actually a very petty, childlike move by a woman who basically acts exactly like Donald Trump does. They are two peas in a pod. She continued, by the way, after that clip you saw, she also said, quote, "And if we don't stop corruption in courtrooms where attorneys are gagged, where attorneys are not allowed to say what they need to say to protect their clients' interests, it doesn't matter what your politics are. But I was told to sit down today. I was yelled at. And I've had a judge who is unhinged slamming a table. Let me be very clear, I don't tolerate that in my life. I'm not going to tolerate it here." You yelled at him first, Alina. Do you not remember that? Or do the facts not matter to you? Because as a lawyer, I would think the facts should matter to you, but clearly they don't. Now, legal experts, of course, were actually stunned by Alina Habba's behavior. Here's what Katie Fong, MSNBC legal analyst, had to say. She said, "Spoken like a lawyer who, one, doesn't try cases, and two, doesn't know how to act in front of a judge." Now, I agree with everything she says there. Her behavior in that courtroom shows her lack of experience inside of a courtroom. Let's not forget, folks, Alina Habba, since she started working for Donald Trump, has already been sanctioned for filing knowingly frivolous lawsuits. She has lost time after time after time after time while representing Donald Trump. She is not good at this. She has proven that repeatedly in just the last 12 months. Because prior to being hired by Donald Trump, her biggest client was a parking garage. So, yeah, not exactly the kind of person that needs to be thrust into the spotlight, even though she wants that spotlight so desperately. But she doesn't have the legal chops to basically stand up with the rest of some of Donald Trump's other lawyers who actually do have decent resumes. He picked Alina Habba because he thinks she's pretty. He picked Alina Habba because she's not afraid to go on TV and say stupid things. Those are the two qualifications that Trump was looking for, and that's why he has kept her on his team and demoted her, promoted her, however you want to look at it, to the spokesperson / counsel for his Save America Political Action Committee. Other legal experts, Georgia State University law professor Eric Siegel said, quote, "What a terrible look for this lawyer." And he's right, because here's the thing, Alina. Let's assume Donald Trump does not win election next year. If he does, you're set. You're probably going to the White House with him. I'll give you that. But let's assume he doesn't win. Then what? What do you do with your life? You have nothing. You have destroyed your reputation. You're not going to get a job at a prestigious law firm. You might go on to be known as the right-wing lawyer who all the conservatives hire, but after a couple losses with those cases, nobody's going to hire you anymore. People probably aren't going to want to phone you up and say, hey, I got hit in a car accident. What can you do for me? You're ruining your entire life with your behavior. Like, it's not just because you took on Trump as a client. It's because of your behavior and the spectacle that you are making of yourself. So if Trump doesn't win, you better hope that Fox News is hiring, or maybe Newsmax, because outside of that, you're going to be struggling for work for the rest of your life. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.